What's up, everyone? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming game preview. If you want to hear a different take of college football from an analytical perspective, if you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select all so you won't miss another video. Also, like the video, share the video on any social media outlets. It helps this channel grow, and give me your score prediction in the comment section below, even if you agree or disagree with my score prediction. We got Miami coming to College Station to face Texas A&M in a primetime matchup on ESPN this Saturday. We have both teams going in opposite directions. Miami took care of business against Southern Miss, and Texas A&M fell short in a sloppy contest against Appalachian State, and as they got upset at home on Kyle Field. Will Miami come into this game and give Texas A&M another loss? Or will Texas A&M be able to right the ship and get back on track? Let's take a look at the tail of the tape of advanced metrics. So the tail of the tape is a combination of advanced metrics between the two teams. So it serves as a base point. We have all these five. We have 5 ratings here. We have F+, SP+, FEI, and offense and defense SP. Now, F+ is a combination of SP+ and FEI. It is used to determine the overall quality of a football team. SP Plus is an opponent adjusted measure of college football efficiency, and that's based on the play-by-play and drive data. And SP Plus is supposed to be predictive and forward facing. It is similar to how Vegas does their power ratings. To kind of give an example, just because a team loses to a higher rated team, that doesn't mean that they're going to be rated ahead of them the following week. Bill Connolly gets a lot of heat, but that's how polls work. This is not necessarily how power ratings work. To give an example, when Alabama defeated Georgia in the SEC championship game, Georgia was heavily favored in that game the first go around. And in the second go around, even though Alabama was ranked higher than Georgia, Georgia was still favored in the national title game. So it takes on that type of logic when you're talking about SP Plus and some of these power ratings that you see. FEI is an opponent adjusted efficiency data, and that's for per possession scoring average. And FEI talks about offensive efficiency and as long as defensive efficiency as well. Offensive SP is a team specific offensive SP Plus rating, and that's presented in the form of adjusted scoring average. And defensive SP Plus is the same thing. Now it's really based on defensive points allowed, so to speak. So offensive SP, the higher the better. Defensive SP, the lower the better. So as we review this, we see Texas A&M, they have a pretty good advantage of 4 out of the 5 categories, except when they have the ball on offense versus Miami's defense, which is a push considering that Miami's defensive SP is ranked 39th. Texas A&M's offensive SP is 47th. So it is between 10 points. It was between 10 rating spots against each other. So this one's considered a push. Now the spread in this game is currently at 5.5 in favor of Texas A&M, and SP Plus has the Aggies favored around that with a 63% win probability. I can't be nice when I see this box score. This is brutal. This is abysmal. It's terrible. It's trash. I just can't find anything nice to say about it. Where do I begin? 38% of the runs were stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage. A&M, they had a 34% success rate, but that's only because they ran 50 less plays in Appalachian State, and the majority of those plays that A&M ran were successful. So they had a low number of successful plays, and they had a low number of total plays. So that is a reason why their success rate was higher than Appalachian State. Other than that, Appalachian State controlled the game throughout. Even in that third quarter where they had a 30% success rate, A&M only had the ball they really didn't have the ball a lot in that third quarter. Appalachian State really just dominated the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and the A&M defense did their part to try to hold them and try to keep them in this game. But at the same time, Now, you can only do so much, man, when you're out on the field for over 80 plays. And at some point, that's going to take a toll on your body. That's going to take a toll on your spirit. And you just may not have the legs to get any stops at the end of the game. There were some post-game win expectancies, and they're all subjective. Now, they had A&M at a 67% win probability. Some was around 70%. In this game, I think the post-game win expectancy has it dead on. The way A&M performed with regards to EPA, their EPA was in the 10th percentile, and that EPA alone is not going to win you any football games. It is better to have at least a 0.0, or anything above that. But, this type of game, man, was just flat out poor for A&M. And with the talent that they have, there's just no excuse for this type of performance against a Group of 5 team, especially when you're playing at home with the crowd in your favor. There's not a lot that I have to say about Miami's game against Southern Miss, other than the fact that it was a ho-hum, workmanlike 23-point W, where there was really nothing flashy about it. Miami, they came in, they were down 7-3, which was a little concerning. Almost going into halftime, and then it seems like they just flipped that switch once the second half started. But other than that, there's not really a lot of wow, other than the fact that they just came in and just imposed their will in the second and third quarters and just put the game away. Southern Miss could not run the football against Miami's front. They had a 14% rushing success rate. 38% of their runs were stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage. Anytime that your runs are stopped, at or behind the line of scrimmage, anything over 35%, you're generally not doing a good job of running the football. You're not doing a good job getting the push up front. So Miami did a hell of a job controlling the line of scrimmage, especially on offense and defense. Miami was able to run for a 56% success rate. Tyler Van Dyke, he had a 50% passing success rate. So all in all, this was really a balanced, solid performance. Nothing really to just, get crazy excited about, but it was just really one of those games where Miami did what they were supposed to do against a lesser opponent. And it was somewhat similar to how I expected A&M to handle Appalachian State, but it just didn't go that way. So in my model projection, it actually likes Miami to come out on top on this one, with the score of 26-25. Keep in mind, the spread is currently at 5.5 in favor of Texas A&M. Just to kind of keep a heads up, last week the model projected Alabama to not cover the spread. Actually had that game to be in the single digits. A 9-point spread, if I recall correctly. I think it had Alabama favored by 9 in that particular scenario. So very interesting. But I am going to keep this in mind that the model is going off of data that is from last year as well. So that data will be phased out within the upcoming weeks once we get newer data for the new season. So not as alarmed. I was a little interested in seeing this particular spread. I thought this would actually be in A&M's favor. I was thinking about maybe 3 points or so to speak, but it looks like based off of their showing against Appalachian State last week, the model kind of dinged A&M a little bit. So yeah, I was very curious about that. So we have A&M favored by 5.5, and they are ranked almost outside the top 25. They're hovering. They're at 24th. Miami is ranked in the top 15 at 13th. So if you are only looking at the polls and Texas A&M were to win this game, you would consider this to be an upset. To be honest with you, anytime a team is favored in Vegas, that's not an upset to me. I just don't view it that way. Vegas has Texas A&M favored in this game for a reason. They are rated higher than Miami in their particular power rating and how they rank teams. So I would not be surprised if Texas A&M actually rights the ship and pulls this one out. Now, here's my concern about Texas A&M, and it has a lot to do with not necessarily with how they looked against Appalachian State, but their psyche going into this particular game. They got hit in the face against Appalachian State last week, and I don't think they were prepared to have a street fight type mentality in that particular game. I think it kind of threw them off guard a little bit. I think it shell shocked them. They did seem rattled on offense because Appalachian State just would not go away. And I think A&M thought their supreme talent would eventually overwhelm them. And by midway, third and fourth quarter, they would be cruising. And it was the other way around. They were literally fighting tooth and nail, and they couldn't get the ball away from Appalachian State. Appalachian State, their offense was on the field for 82 plays. That means the A&M defense was out there on that field, out there in that field in Texas, in the sweltering heat with all that humidity for over 80 plays. That could be a problem going into this game against Miami. Miami's coming into this game, they're well rested. That defense was on the field for over 50 plays against Southern Miss. And the big question that I'm going to have about Miami is, how good is that offense? Is this offense as legit as how they looked in the first 2 weeks? They played an FCS school, Bethune-Cookman, scored 1 million points, did pretty much whatever they wanted, no resistance. And Southern Miss, little bit of resistance there. I mean, they had 3 points almost going into halftime. They scored 10, but the efficiency that they were operating at was high level. So they haven't really been tested on offense. Texas A&M hasn't really been tested defensively either. So that's another question that I'm going to see get answered. Who's more legit, the Miami offense or the Texas A&M defense? This is a test on both sides, and I'm intrigued by that battle here. I think in a game like this, even though the spread is at 5, I think this game is going to be tighter. I think it's going to be played in a matter of which the one mistake that a team makes, whether it is late in the second half, I think it's going to be like late in the second half, someone is going to make a grave mistake, whether it be a fumble, whether it be an interception, and that will be the turning point in this particular game here. For this one, I have Miami coming out on top, relatively close. I got 20-17. At the end of the day, I am not quite sure if Texas A&M is going to fix their offensive issues in time for this game here. And at this point, you got to go with the quarterback that you know the most here, that you know better. And right now, Tyler Van Dyke is the better quarterback than Haynes King. I'm curious to see if Jimbo Fisher makes a change at quarterback to go with the 5-star kid that they recruited. But I think this is going to be a tight one. The game's going to be played at night. I'm sure Kyle Field's going to be rocking here. And, A&M's going to play with some desperation. I think defensively they're going to bring it. Offense, I'm not quite sold on them offensively yet. They have the weapons. I don't know if they have the quarterback to get the ball to those weapons. So at the end of the day, I think Miami's going to pull it off here. They have just enough in the tank, and I think they'll get this one done. And with that being said, that's a wrap for another game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction and tell me why your respective team is going to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give the video a like, and if you love college football as much as I do, hit that subscribe button, click notification bell if you want to stay updated with the latest previews. Thank you for watching, and thank you for visiting the channel.